Okay, good evening, and we call tonight's meeting to order. Today is September 17, 2025. The time is 5:20 p.m. Sorry for a 5-minute late start. We were waiting on a couple people for recognitions, hoping that we didn't miss anybody, so we were just giving them a couple minutes to attend. Everybody could please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And our announcement is the regular school committee meeting will be televised and recorded, may be viewed live on Comcast Channel 22, Verizon Channel 34, on YouTube.com, Tewksbury TV. Under the open meeting law, the public's permitted to make an audio or video recording of an open session at a public meeting. At this time, I'm asking, is anyone recording tonight's meeting? Please identify themselves, and seeing nobody. Moving on to, are all of our people here for our recognition? Seems so. Okay. So I'll move on to that and ask our superintendent, Mrs. Terry Regan, if you'd like to introduce, please.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Tonight, it's my honor to recognize two of our teachers. You already know, our faculty organizers of our resurrected Tewksbury Memorial High School Student Exchange Program. With us tonight are Senora Graça Dudley and Dr. Bailey Mahoney. In your packet, you also have several pictures that they have provided us with of the amazing experiences our 15 students from Granada, Spain, had with our Tewksbury Memorial High School students and their host families for 2 weeks this month. Some of our host families are with us tonight. Those host students and their families were, let me read this list for you, Blake Adams, Andrew Crowley, Gianna Chambers, Elizabeth Amido, Paul Lopez, Catherine Melendez Portillo, Sienna Howell, Valentina Avendano, Joseph Todd, Ariana McLean, Donovan Conway, Maddox Cretion, Rosalind Impink, alumni Rosalind Impink, I should say, Abigail Downing, as well as our host, Principal Andy Long, who hosted a teacher from Spain, Angelina Jimenez Ayeha, and her son, and again, Senora Graça Dudley, who hosted Veronica Garcia Rodriguez. So we certainly are thankful to all of the families, some of them with us tonight. And if we could have our faculty advisors or organizers, as well as our principal and our host families, if you want to be recognized up at the podium, the school committee has a special, you do not have to, they have a special recognition to read for you. Mr. Long and our faculty organizers, if you want to offer any comment on the program, you're welcome to.
Go ahead.
Well, I think what made it really special was the families. They opened their homes and their hearts to those students. Every time that I asked them about how things were going, their first comment had always been about the people, the families, and the students at school. They were all really connecting. So I would say that that was what made everything really work well. So thank you so much to the families.
Yeah, and I would just echo what Graça is saying. The families were outstanding the past 2 weeks that we had the students, and it brought kind of a breath of fresh air up to TMHS, and we are now constantly being asked, are we doing this again next year? Can we add a French program? So add that to your agendas. We'd really appreciate it.
Just lastly, too, talking to Angela, we set the bar high for our families to go over there. So the families in Spain were so impressed with how giving our families were that they're like, we have to do this, that, and the other thing to sort of match the same experience that was given to them. So they really appreciated it.
And if you don't mind, I hate to put you on the spot, but our student rep, Maggie, do you have anything to add about what you thought the experience was like for students?
They crushed us all in soccer during gym class. That's all I have to say. No, but it was really fun because I saw them at the volleyball game a couple of times, and I came up after a soccer game, and they knew we were the girls' soccer team, and they asked if we won, and when we said yeah, they were all excited for us and stuff. So definitely a really fun experience.
Yes. Thanks, Maggie. Thanks.
Sure. So we'll read this proclamation to our families. So, whereas the families of Tewksbury generously opened their homes and hearts to host 15 international students and 2 teachers from Spain during their visit from September 1st to September 11th, whereas these families went above and beyond to share their daily lives and cultural traditions, fostering an exchange of experiences that enriched both our guests and our own community, and whereas the presence of our international visitors provided countless opportunities for learning, understanding, and friendship from which our school community benefited greatly, and whereas the commitment and hospitality of these families and our faculty organizers made this international exchange possible and ensured it was a meaningful, and memorable experience for all involved, and whereas through their efforts, the host families and faculty organizers represented Tewksbury Memorial High School and the town of Tewksbury with pride, warmth, and distinction. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Tewksbury School Committee hereby recognizes and extends its deepest appreciation to the Tewksbury families and faculty organizers who hosted the visiting students and teachers, and commends them for their extraordinary contributions to culture exchange and community spirit. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for having students in your homes and teachers.
Madam Chair, can I say one thing about the program just while we have our teachers here? It was incredible. Not only the students that had the families, but other students throughout the school. Everyone was so welcoming. It was a really great way to kick off the school year. It just gave a little fun twist to, something that could be stressful or intimidating, especially our freshmen coming in. And I think it was just really, it was run so well. I'm looking forward to the next round. Thank you.
Tonight is the open house at the high school, so that's kind of explains why we were kind of doing a quick push here at the beginning. So,
Too bad.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Terry O'Regan. And Maggie, the floor is yours.
Yes, we're going to share this. Go ahead.
All right.
Welcome back to school.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be back for the school year's meetings. Even though we're only a few weeks into the school year, there's definitely a lot to update you all on. To start tonight, I have the latest on Team H's sports. All fall sports are starting off their season strong. The school students athletes will be spending their fall on the field, in the pool, on the green, on the court, or on the mat. Between the 18 fall sports, athletes have the opportunity to compete at the JV or varsity level, with volleyball even having enough to have a freshman team. Lastly, in sports, Friday night lights are back. At this Friday's home football game versus Methuen, all varsity athletes will have the chance to be recognized at halftime. Next up, Team HS clubs. All clubs have jumped right back into their busy schedules. For NHS, they started off this year helping set up teachers' classrooms, having a bake sale at tonight's open house, and have new merch in the works. Interact Club is celebrating the new year by organizing a pet supply drive. Now until October 31st, the club will be collecting pet food and supplies to benefit the MSPCA and Nevins Farm. Team HS' biggest club, DECA, is living up to their name, hosting over 95 students in LGI2 this past Friday for their first interest meeting. As new freshman class settles into the high school life, they will have the opportunity to run for class office. Students have until the end of this month to get signatures, campaign, and write a speech in hope to get their peers to vote for them. And finally, miscellaneous news. With the new school year, Team HS introduced a handful of new courses available to students, including AP Environmental Science, taught by Mr. Cassidy, and Project Lead the Way Biomed, taught by Mr. Bland. Finally, keeping up with the trend of what's new at Team HS, the guidance department now utilizes SCORE. This website allows students to explore different colleges based off their career goals and personal interests. Another great feature of this website is the ability to sign up for in-person college meetings held at the school. This week alone, we were visited by 13 different college representatives, some notable standouts of those 13 being Boston University, University of Miami, and Holy Cross. And that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Maggie. Any questions or comments? No? You guys all set? Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. All right. And next we would have our Citizens Forum, but I'm not seeing anybody here with us now. And approval of minutes, that would bring us to our clerk.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'll move the minutes of the August 13, 2025 regular school committee meeting.
One second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Abstain.
Okay, so that would be a 4-1 vote.
And then I'll move the August 13, 2025 special school committee meeting minutes.
One second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Abstain.
Okay, again, 4-1 vote.
And then I'll move the August 13, 2025 administrative goals workshop.
One second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Abstain.
Okay, again, 4-1 vote. And now our submission and payment of bills.
Okay, I'll move the payroll for the period ending October 14th, 2025. And I don't have the amount.
Oh, actually, I don't either.
Yeah. Unless it's,
Let me go back to the,
You said 8/14?
yeah, August 14th.
It's, I have the number here.
Okay, yeah.
1,470,660.96.
Okay, move the payroll period ending August 14, 2025, the amount of $1,470,660.96.
96 cents.
I'll second.
okay. So we have a motion by Mr. Cutlass and a second by, was it Katie? Okay, for $1,470,660.96.
Yeah.
Chris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
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 And I vote as well for a unanimous vote.
Okay. Madam Chair, I'd like to move the school department payroll period be approved and certified in the amounts and categories as shown, in the amount of $1,355,177.62.
Okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion by Kayla and a second by Jamie for $1,355,177.62. And Chris, how do you vote?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And Kayla?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for unanimous vote.
I move the payroll period be approved and certified in the 9/11, pardon me. I move for the 9/11 payroll period be approved and certified in the amounts and categories as shown for the amount of $1,667,198.98.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Okay, Jamie. So I have a motion by Kayla and a second by Jamie for $1,667,198.98. Chris, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Katie?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And Kayla?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well, and that's for September 11th and for unanimous vote. Right. Next, that brings us to our superintendent report. Mrs. Terry O'Regan.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. First and foremost, I certainly want to congratulate our entire school district, our teachers, staff, students, parents, guardians, central office, school committee, of course, and our administrative team for a wonderful start of the school year. There are always a few blips and details to iron out, but overall, this school year start was full of smiles and 3.5 very busy weeks that Dr. Milligan will detail a little bit more in her updates. With that, I'd like to recognize and thank our students of the Tewksbury Memorial High School Band and Concert Chorus, along with their director, Celeste Pellegrino, for once again attending and performing at our annual Tewksbury 9/11 Memorial Ceremony. The band and chorus performances of the Star Spangled Banner and America the Beautiful were truly amazing. Then 2 of our students gave moving renditions of 2 songs that set the tone as to why we hold this town event annually. Amazing Grace was sung by Ava Desario, and Let There Be Peace on Earth was performed by Julia Baruchik. This was obviously a perfect tone and message to end the ceremony on. Our PACs in your packet have provided you with their annual fundraising plans for our school year 25-26. This is informational only. You can see that there are many events and activities for families and the community to engage in. Many of the events will raise funds for enrichment and culminating activities in the schools. I don't have to tell you all, as many of you are members of our school PACs, as well as have been or are leaders of our school PACs, to how much we appreciate the efforts of our parent advisory committees. They truly support learning, culture building, and the goal attainment at all of our schools and for the district. They offer opportunities, build relationships amongst our parents and guardians at all grade levels as well. So we're planning to gather with our townwide PAC leads in October. In your packet, I have shared with you the Valley Collaborative's summer newsletter, fourth quarter treasurer's report, statement of revenues and expenses, articles of agreement, and the annual budget and tuition rate. Your approval and acceptance of the consent agenda will acknowledge a receipt of these fourth quarter documents. Over the summer, as directed by the Tewksbury School Facility Study Committee, I collaborated along with business manager David Libby with the town manager on a request for proposal known as an RFP for a facility assessment and feasibility study at all of our schools. That RFP was uploaded to the central registry this week. There is a deadline for submissions by October 15th, 2025. This is informational only to you, members of the school committee, through you, Madam Chair. The primary purpose of the study is to provide the community with a practical tool for developing a comprehensive school facilities plan that delivers the most educationally appropriate and cost-efficient solutions as directed by the Tewksbury School Facility Study Committee and as presented to the Tewksbury Select Board. This study will examine current and projected student enrollment, present and future educational needs, including preschool, in-district special education needs, preschool through grade 12, and the condition of existing facilities, identifying both limitations and opportunities. The study will also evaluate the potential relocation of district services, identify critical maintenance needs, and assess options for renovations, additions, or building replacements as identified by the TSFSC and presented again to the Select Board for both short and long-term planning. As you know, these are major priorities in our district goals as well, to participate in that study and then follow up with what the planning will be for the school district. On a very positive note, last week we hosted a student forum and staff forum to further explore an expanded early college designation and planning for the Tewksbury Memorial High School. Our students were very engaged and informative as to the early college programs they want to see at our school. So you know that we have many early college dual enrollment courses and AP courses, but this is a way to further expand on early college pathways and credit and expanded credit opportunities while at the high school. So our next step will be to follow up with an optional high school student survey to further explore this plan and further explore grant opportunities. So very exciting, and as you saw, a piece of our expanding and strengthening student supports at school and offering more opportunities to our high school students that choose Tewksbury Memorial High School as their place to graduate from. So, Madam Chair, that concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you so much. Any questions or comments on the superintendent's report? Mr. Moncada?
No, I was going to say, though, you didn't mention our special guests earlier this month.
You know,
Sure,
I
say
didn't
that
know
for
if
some
I've
of the-
overplayed that in the district newsletter, in the letter, but
I'm
yes.
surprised, that's all.
What an exciting opening week it was, right? Just to for those who have not heard, with some very special guests in the district, on the Tuesday after Labor Day, we had Governor Maura Healey, the State Education Secretary, Patrick Tutwiler, as well as our new Commissioner of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Pedro Martinez, make a very special visit to the Dewing School and do a reading for some first grade classrooms, as well as announce a really wonderful opportunity Tewksbury will benefit from, our high dosage literacy tutoring. So it was an exciting day. Thank you for all of you that came. It really was an honor, not only for us to host, but to show off our students and our teachers in our Dewing School.
And along that same lines too, then, so with what they were here for, when will we start seeing the benefits of that program? When do we start seeing that roll out?
Well, I'll let
Okay.
our assistant superintendent give you
Yes.
We're currently doing our beginning of year screenings, and once we have that information, we will be submitting that information, targeting the students for high dosage tutoring. And then our partner is Amplify, so they will be providing the tutoring and they will be tracking student data. And as students are released from tutoring, more students will be picked up throughout the school year, so.
And so it's a very soon.
We use
Yeah.
Dibbles for our screener, and I think that's scheduled for early October.
Correct.
Great. Yeah, otherwise I'm all set. Very good, thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Two questions. One off of that, is the tutoring during school or is it after, during school? So it's extra support during the school, okay. And then can we just get, and I'm sure you're gonna provide it, but can we get an update on that student survey and really what they are looking for in other pathways?
Yes.
After you've done
right,
that?
Yes, and we have not put that survey out yet, but
Yep.
when we do,
Yep.
it'll be shared with families because all surveys are optional.
Yep.
They're certainly shared. It really starts to drill down into what types of college programs are students really interested in, you know, whether it's medical fields, engineering fields, so that we can prioritize the pathways that we may look at when we do early college planning. So there's the smattering of credits you can get by this course, that course, this course, but when you align several courses that lead towards
Right.
a particular major or field of study, that's really beneficial to students. And then there's obviously grant dollars we're looking to apply for as well. So this will be information that will be continued to be shared with you throughout the school year, because this is really big for Tewksbury Memorial
It
High
is.
School, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I think it's really important that it's shared here, but also out with the community once we start being able to offer these different things for our
Yeah.
students, so.
Yeah.
And these survey results are directly impacting one of the early college grants that we're applying for.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's a multi-year grant, so the first year will get us into the planning phase, and then it will allow us to expand with trainings and courses and materials.
That's great, good, good.
Yeah, can I just piggyback on that, Madam Chair? What grade levels are being surveyed, or is it going out to?
Well, in the focus groups, we were talking with juniors and seniors, but when we start looking at early college planning, we'll look at the student population as a whole and looking at talking with, this called really early college planning with middle schoolers. And I'm serious, that is the title, really early college planning. So, and right now, we're in the throes of making some of the pieces to that designation and acquiring the grant happen. MyCap training for all of our staff at those grade levels. So there's just a lot that goes along with it, and surveying students comes first, because we want to prioritize student interest areas and availability of staff interest. There was a really nice forum with the staff who are highly motivated and excited about this. And, you know, in fact, some of the teachers that we had here tonight were there, sharing why foreign language or world languages are so important in any college career pathway. So how do we build that into it? So it was just really motivating for us, who have been really trying to build on these opportunities for the high school students for so many years, to really see this momentum picking up.
I'm sorry. So focus groups were with juniors and seniors, really early.
This was the focus group last week. We'll be looking at a much more broad perspective from all of our high school students.
Okay.
And working with middle school students as well.
Really early.
In the
Okay.
communication of this, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the first students who are going to benefit from this are 7th, 8th freshmen.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
good.
Yeah, I just have one question. On that tutoring program, right, from the state, are those kids on IEPs, or do they have to be on IEPs? So even if they sign up and everything, no IEP or anything like that?
So everyone is screened, and based on their screening data, that's how they would qualify for the
Okay.
additional high dosage tutoring.
All right, no, is there any parental consent or anything like that? Yeah,
Yes,
okay. so
everything,
they do,
yep.
yeah. All right, thank you, Madam Chair, thank you.
Yeah, sure. No, been covered throughout. Thank you.
No, I appreciate all the information, and welcome back to school. I think I appreciate the attention that you, and I'm Dr. Milligan, you might be covering this in your, so I'll hold back a little bit, but to just say, you know, you guys did a really nice job, I think, in your welcome back first couple of days. I think you put a lot of work into it. I think you were very intentional. I think the work that you did in August and how that tied into the first few days was obvious to me. And as a non-educator, just seeing that work come together and how the past few years tied into this year was pretty obvious. So, I thank you for all that work. I think it's a lot. And that type of theoretical planning, along with the practical stuff that you do every day, it's a lot of work. And I don't know that people see that stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, it's a whole group effort, and I think you'll expand a little bit on the details because it was wonderful for our entire staff to really understand how our district goals are meant to improve student experiences. And I think that they got that.
But having the entire district, I mean,
Right.
it wasn't just educators, but your
600
the
members.
food services to your, administrative staff, everybody in the auditorium was pretty awesome. So, great, awesome work. So, Dr. Milligan.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair, and I will start with talking about the opening days in professional development. Our district launched the new school year with tremendous energy and purpose during our opening day celebrations at the end of August. The day began with an uplifting note of Wynn Middle School and high school students as they created an enthusiastic welcome corridor, cheering on all our staff members as they entered the high school, a heartwarming gesture that set a positive tone and brought genuine smiles throughout our educational community. The district-wide gathering provided a valuable opportunity for all of our buildings to come together as staff reconnected and shared meaningful summer experiences before our plenary session. Most importantly, it allowed us to collectively review our strategic priorities with our 4 foundational district goals with everyone in the room. As I enter into my second year in the district, I'm particularly impressed by the unwavering consistency of our focus over the past 4 years. This steadfast commitment reflects the exceptional leadership of Superintendent Regan and all of the staff members in the district who have worked collaboratively with the teachers, the staff, the administrators, and our broader community to maintain our core pillars of data-driven decision-making, strengthening instructional supports, facilities, and communications. This sustained focus demonstrates our district's commitment to continuous improvement through consistency of those priority goals. Following our plenary sessions, individual buildings engaged in targeted professional development, taking deeper dives into this year's anticipated actions. Key initiatives included refining our common assessment practices, strengthening our classroom instructional supports through universal design for learning principles, implementing effective language objectives, and establishing teacher advisory committees to enhance our collective decision-making. The response from staff was overwhelmingly positive regarding both content quality and the session structure. I've already met with our teacher professional development committee to analyze the feedback and incorporate suggestions for our future professional development sessions. We're building on this momentum as we approach our September 25th early release day next week, where we'll continue advancing the critical work. So it was an amazing opening day, and the momentum and energy was phenomenal. For MCAS, our MCAS scores are embargoed. We have those results right now. They've been released to the districts. We will start the analysis of locating areas of success and areas of needs within that data and triangulating with our district assessments and other student measures to present to you later this fall. Coming up on Monday, we have our International Day of Peace. Pinwheels for Peace represents an impactful art installation initiative that began in 2005, providing students with a creative outlet to express their thoughts and feelings about global events and personal experiences. This meaningful project has resonated deeply with our school community and has been embraced by millions of educators, families, and individuals worldwide who share in this commitment. The Ryan School has proudly participated in this initiative since 2009, demonstrating our ongoing dedication to fostering dialogue and peace around our community values. Monday, September 22nd, marks our annual celebration of this project, and I encourage committee members to watch for this inspiring display next week over at the Ryan School. In correspondences, James Williams from VFW 8164 has reached out asking for the district's support. Each year on Veterans Day, the VFW honors our hospitalized veterans by visiting each patient at the Bedford VA and giving them a handmade veterans card made by our grade school children in the area. As they may not be able to personally visit each patient this year, this request to help make cards for our veterans is even more important. Mr. Williams is asking our Tewksbury students in grades K through 12 to participate. He'd like to pick them up on or by October 31st, and we'd be more than happy to help out with this request. So that concludes my report for today. As I said, the opening of the school year has been exceptional, and I remain enthusiastic about continuing my classroom visits to observe the outstanding teaching and learning taking place across our buildings, and I thank you for your attention in these updates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I say everything I said before. Thank you. All right. Any questions or comments?
I'm all set. Thank you.
I just had, when do we see those MCAS results? Will we get them?
So they're embargoed, they're not public yet. So once they're public, we'll start the analysis, and we'll either do an October or November presentation. Last year was November. It all depends on when they actually formally release, and we can turn around the data to look for patterns.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you like to give a little spoiler alert or teaser?
I might have been on a group thread that people were looking at their accountability results, and a lot of the other districts were very disappointed that they were not making the progress they had in the past. But I'd like to say that our accountability data has increased, and I am hopefully that I will have a great report for you. There's always areas to grow, but so far it's I think our presentation is going to be very promising.
Oh, good, good. Thank you.
So-
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Mr. Libby, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, we're off and running with our school year this year. As far as give a brief transportation update, the bus company unfortunately surprisingly lost 2 to 3 drivers right before the school year started. I said 2 to 3. They're sure that 2 quit right before, a week before school. The third one, they weren't sure they had in the fold. So, but that left them shorthanded. We have 21 full-time drivers. The 2 office folks have been covering routes to cover our 23 buses. And we've been getting some help from the company's other outlets in Hadley and Middleborough on occasion, but that's not, hasn't been consistent. So we often have to have both of our office people out on the road, which has created some issues with phone coverage. There was some technical difficulties in forwarding the phones to another office. We think we've got that settled, so the schools will be able to get a live body on the line. We do have a driver going for their license, it's either next week or the week after they complete their training. That will hopefully be in a seat behind the wheel shortly to help out with that. And I'm also sort of looking at it from the other side, and I'm working on seeing if we can reduce the fleet by a bus, so that we would have one fewer have a need for one fewer driver. Sort of attack it from 2 prongs and see if we can get a little more consistency with across the board on the transportation end. I know there's been some issues with the app. A lot of that's related to buses covering for other buses and not always being updated on the app, or that not working correctly. I have consistently voiced my displeasure with that happening, and we'll continue to keep on the bus company to make sure that app is up and running, especially with inconsistent times. It's important that we have that available for parents so that they know when to be at bus stops at the end of the day. Van routes seem to be pretty working very well with the new PK structure. We have less students in the middle of the day needing van transportation and more alignment with our start and end times at the Heathbrook and the Dewing School. So that's worked out pretty well with that new PK structure that was implemented this year at the schools. So from a transportation perspective, that's been a plus. In our out-of-district vans, we have more options now with some new companies in place, and that seems to be going pretty well as well. On another note, we've started with our talented team of internal tech folks. We've taken on a voice over IP phone project at the Heathbrook and the Dewing schools to be able to provide phones in each classroom at those schools. It's been a issue for quite a long time, being able to connect with folks in those classrooms from a security perspective and a student management perspective. So that will be coming attraction. They've started putting together materials lists and what they're going to need to get that project done. But we've green-lighted that project from here, and our guys are going to get that up and running for the Heathbrook and the Dewing. And the last thing I had to report on was with our initial audit back of our end-of-year state report for FY24, which is a report where we submit every dollar we spend. It's categorized into the DESE code, function codes, broken out by grant, revolving, all different types of, in different, sliced and diced in many different ways. There's transportation reporting, special education cost reporting, and it's audited every year by an external auditor, and our initial audit came back with no findings. So that was good news. Happy to hear that. And we'll get the final formal report back from our auditor in a couple weeks. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions or comments? Mr. Marcato?
No, thank you.
I feel like we have bus-related issues at the beginning of every school year, and this year it seems to be a little bit worse because of the driver shortage. But how do we work with the transportation provider to prepare better to make sure that we don't find ourselves in these situations consistently? Because this one is rough on I'll say in particular the younger students and their families just not knowing when the buses are coming. If at worst case, if they're going to have different drivers, they have to make sure that the app's working, and we've had struggles with that too. So I'm not sure how we can do this better next year, but I think we owe it to the community to figure it out.
I wish I knew too.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I spent a lot of time on the routes. We have every student routed at the beginning of the year. We do get a lot of changes last minute that we don't know about until, the week school starts. Daycare issues, a lot of things, people move and forget to tell us. But, things happen.
Yeah.
It's never as cut and dried as what we think we're going to see in the middle of August when we finalize things and get them in drivers' hands. Things change.
Do they plan for bus driver attrition? Because I feel like that's an issue every year where we suddenly, right before the school year starts, we lose drivers.
Yeah,
They have like people in the queue getting ready, or they just say, I got my 22, I'm done.
No, definitely. They like having substitute teachers. We always try to
Yeah, right.
have to plan for to have spares.
Okay.
Because, inevitably someone's out sick, vacation, doctor's appointment, whatever. We do have a couple of spare drivers who can, we've used one gentleman who works for the post office in the morning, and he can cover the afternoon, but he can't cover the morning. So,
Yeah.
we've used him quite a bit for a few years. But when I was over there the other day going over some coverage, there was a gentleman sitting at a desk training, getting ready to take the test. So they are actively recruiting, trying to get bodies in seats beyond just what we need.
Okay.
Madam Chair? And for anybody who may be watching and hopefully reading the district newsletter, we've put the posting out. If anyone's looking for part-time work and riding a bus or helping out in any way, please contact bus company or the district offices, and they'll assist them.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I feedback on that too? Sure. Contract-wise, how does the loss of drivers or tapping into local resources affect the contract in any way?
We obviously won't. I've been keeping track of when we run 22 buses versus 23 buses, and I'll make sure our billing reflects that, because we pay for each bus daily based on a daily rate. So, and we didn't have much of this last year. The year before that, we did quite a bit. So we have that sort of on the financial end.
Okay.
That's really it gets, I think there are some minor clauses where there's penalties if late
periods of time.
getting to school and things like that. It may be worth looking into beefing that up, though, in our next version of the contract.
Yeah.
Because this is the last year of our current contract, so.
Thank you.
Question on that, Mr. Libby. So we're in the last year so that this contract would expire the end of June?
Yeah.
When does the RFP go out for that?
We should be out in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you start kind of letting companies know, or letting people know, we're putting an RFP out?
It goes out.
How does that go?
It goes out in Goods and Services Bulletin. And,
I don't know. I mean, do we say that in our meeting, put an RFP out? How's that going?
Well, last
They watch
contract,
that
we
site.
only had Tewksbury Transit that responded to it, right? Everybody else declined it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's vendor lists on the OSD, Occupational Services Division website. They provide, every service in the world, including transportation. So we'll send our bid spec out specifically to anybody who is on there that says they have big yellow buses.
Okay. And I say that tongue in cheek. I actually do know how it works, but I guess there's a level of frustration, and I guess we're all feeling it from the different levels of challenges that families have faced. So thank you for the work that you do every day, for the small challenges and the larger challenges, and for supporting families through them. So thank you. Mr. Cullis, anything?
No, I'll sit, Madam Chair.
Anything else?
No,
For me?
okay, thank you.
No, and I don't have much else other than the voice over IP project. Is there an estimated cost? Do you think that might, or,
The initial costs were, I think it was about 8,000 for the doing and 6,000 for the heat book. So for the materials, to get that project off the ground. So, yeah, when we had looked at this in the past through vendors, I think we were in like the $60,000 to $70,000 per school range.
Wow, okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
No,
Technology tends to decrease over time. So, we thought it would be a good chance to look at this again. And our internal guys feel comfortable that they can put something together for us. So,
Great. No, it's definitely a security issue, and I appreciate the fact that you're taking this on. Thank you.
Yeah, and Madam Chair, again, in District Goal number 3, if you remember, our internal audit, this rose to a high priority immediately for those two schools. And next month, perhaps, we'll have some other areas that will rise to priority once we learn more through the local report that we're having done. But it's too soon to give much information about that.
Okay. Great, thank you. And now, moving on with our correspondence and informational topics. With the 9/11, Tewksbury VFW, the PAC fundraising calendars, Valley Collaborative Communication. Are there anything in here that you wanted to cover that?
I think we've covered it all. I think when you get to the consent agenda, you'll be pleased to see the letters and late hires for our kindergarten class at the Heathbrook are included. So we were very happy to acquire a very talented kindergarten teacher and aide to start school year.
Great. Any questions or comments on the correspondence and informational topics?
No.
No. Okay, I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing at the Valley Collaborative. It's nice to hear what they're doing over there. Thank you, of course, to the VFW and the work that they're doing with the schools. I like to see that collaboration. It's great. Thank you for everybody that showed up at the 9/11. Looks like that was a nice day. And, of course, the PACs, I appreciate all the work that they're doing in the schools. So it looks like that's going to be a great year. Consent agenda.
Madam Chair?
Yep.
Can I just go, sorry, I was going to bring it up in a different section, but I guess it's here too. So, with regard to the PAC things, I think there were a couple outstanding questions maybe left over from other meetings. One is about movie nights and maybe making sure that we're clear with our PACs about those, and then possibly taking a look at the student fundraising policy. I think it was last updated in 2018. Just looking at all the things and the change, there was a recent update to that policy. So possibly adding that to the prioritization list. I know you and Mr. Moncada keep a running list, but we got a notification that one did update recently. So it might be a good time to look at that. And with the townwide PAC meeting coming up.
It's usually the first bullet on townwide PAC at the start of the school year, yes.
Perhaps I'll remind you at the end for matters of interest, but.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda?
No.
No. No. And welcome to the new kindergarten teachers. Yeah. Okay, so for this, I'll take as a roll call vote. Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Aye.
Wait, did you want a motion?
Oh, is it, yeah, well, sorry.
Yeah, make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Yep.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mrs. B. Johnny Smith, a second by Mr. Cutlass. Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Still aye.
Yes, thank you.
Aye.
Okay, second and third.
Aye.
Aye, and I vote aye as well for a unanimous vote after we had a motion and a second. And school committee member reports with Tewksbury CPAC.
So the CPAC actually meets for their first meeting of the year tomorrow. It is at the high school. It's at 7 p.m. It's on the first floor in the teacher's room. And then the special ed vendor fair is at the end of this month. It's on September 26th from 5 to 7. I believe it's here. Ms. Regan, do you recall if it's here or the vendor fair on the 26th?
Let me take a look.
It was here before. Didn't have the flyer in front of me, but that's a nice night for families to look into some programs and vendors that may be of assistance. CPAC will be present, or members of, I should say.
I'm not seeing it in my calendar, but we can certainly put
Yeah.
that update in the district newsletter this
Great.
week.
Yeah, that's it now.
Okay. Any information from the Wellness Advisory Committee? Mrs. Anderson and Ms. Moncada?
The first meeting is on 10/1.
Okay. Great. All right. And then for the policy subcommittee, we, in terms of updates, we've taken a look at some policies, as you'll see when we get there, and trying to get that back on track. We've looked at trying how we're going to organize that a little bit better. Now that we've got Mrs. Caliendo's got kind of a new approach that she's hoping to get us organized, hopefully, and Dr. Milligan. So between the two of them, I think there's a whole new plan. And we'll get all of our policies where we have a good idea as to, we can look at where we're at with how to tackle some of these older policies a little bit better. So look forward to that. And then School Facilities Study Committee, I don't think we have much really to add there. I think Mrs. Terry Regan gave us a nice update there, unless Mr. Cutlass, you had anything else to add?
No, I guess the manager will select a consultant shortly after the 15th then.
Okay. Policy changes, proposals, and adoptions. So I think if we kind of move in here, we have 2 for recommendations to adopt with no changes. And that would be, these are just simply, they haven't been looked at in a while. Didn't really have anything to add. That was JFABE, JFABF. So educational opportunities for military children and educational opportunities for children in foster care. So in looking at our policies and also looking at the updates with MASC, there wasn't really anything to add, maybe some grammatical changes, that might have been it. Anything else to add, Mr. Moncada?
No,
Yeah.
just those two.
Any questions or comments there?
I'm sorry, I just don't see the changes to the IKFE.
So there were no changes to JFABE and JFABF. So those are no changes.
Yeah, sorry, IKFE.
So we're on A.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking at the 2 with no changes
Okay.
first.
Okay.
And then, yeah. No questions? So if you're amenable to a motion on these to adopt with no changes, that's what we're looking for today. A vote to adopt with no change. Both of these.
Take them as a slate, the 2.
Yeah.
Sure. So motion to approve JFABE and JFABF with no changes.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that passes unanimously. And now, this might be the one you have a question on here.
Yeah.
New policy recommended for informational reading only. So this one is competency determination. So that's what you're looking at here. This is a brand-new policy. It doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, I don't know, Dr. Milligan, I might even have you speak on this a bit.
Sure. So, like Madam Chair said, that this is a brand-new policy, so we took the MASC suggested language, and we went through, there's guidance from DESE of the component parts. We had the high school work on all of the components that need to be added to this policy, but we wanted to give everyone time to look at the, what the new competency determination would look like for the high school, which is different than graduation requirements. Those 2 policies have been separated out. We will be coming back to the high school requirements policy to make sure that we made some edits last year, that they're still in effect for this year, and those 2 policies will be coming forward. This policy has to be approved by December 31st. That was a change. Originally, it was October 31st, but we wanted to make sure, because it is a brand-new policy going into place, that people had time for the informational reading of this policy.
Ms. Anderson, if I may, through you, Madam Chair, you may remember competency determination required passing MCAS.
Right.
So
right.
that was the impetus
Okay.
for the new
Okay.
policy and change.
Thank you.
So, yeah, any questions or comments now? If not, certainly you have opportunity offline to reach out to the superintendent or the assistant superintendent, or bring your questions back to the next school committee meeting in October. And then there would be an ask to vote on this in November. Yes.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question now that maybe for consideration, doesn't have to be answered now? It mentions a mastery in certain areas. Is that defined somewhere?
I'd have to go back and read the policy. I
Yeah.
don't know if we actually got into what mastery was within the policy, or Tessie was giving us part of those pieces as they are doing the vision of the graduate work, which they were going to look at all those definitions. So I have to, now I'm confusing the two.
Yeah, and just
I'll look
for
into
like,
that.
yeah, for the future edits and revision. that's-
There is a section in each one that says mastery demonstration that says exactly what it
Right.
looks like for
Right.
that section.
That section, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if overall.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we can come back to that again. And then C, recommendation to revise policies on informational reading. And that one is JFABD, homeless students, enrollment rights and services. And now this one is also for informational reading. Again, we'll come back in October, and then for an ask for vote in November. The reason this one is in a separate category is because this one is a revision of a policy, whereas the last policy is a new policy for creation. So nothing to do here, other than do you have any questions or comments?
No.
Okay, seeing none, we can move on to old business. Register periods, I'll pass this on over to.
Madam Chair. I have Dr. Milligan report on the register period.
Sure. In your packet, we have one slight update to the register periods. Our original correspondence had term 4 progress reports issued on May 23rd, which was a Saturday. So we adjusted that to May 22nd, which is the Friday, which is typically when the progress reports go out. So our apologies for that oversight.
And are you asking for a new vote on this? Or is this just informational?
Would be helpful to have the vote, as it does shift our calendar.
Thanks somewhat.
Okay, sure. Is there a motion for this?
Motion to approve the amended 2025-2026 register periods as indicated.
Second.
Okay, so a motion to amend the 25-26 register periods to reflect the May 22nd, 2026 date. Is there a second? By Mrs. Anderson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and that passes unanimously. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, also in old business, and in your packet is an enrollment update for the start of the school year. This is informational only, and simply to give you a view of our enrollment status currently. As you can see across the board in K through 8, we have maintained our class sizes below 25, some very much well below 25. So again, this is informational only. I'll continue to update you quarterly through the year, and you can see we've had a nice little blip and increase in our grade 9 students, since last year. So that's nice to see.
Okay. Any questions or comments on enrollment?
No.
Mrs. Terry Regan, what was the, I should have looked at this before, our total number of students in the district last year? Do you remember?
When we ended with, I want to say the final numbers with DESE were 3201, but that's coming out of my memory, not quite sure on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can come back though and give you a comparison if you want, or we can wait till we certify our numbers in the fall.
Fine, I can look at home too. I was just curious offhand. Okay,
That number, for whatever reason, is in my head, and I'm not sure quite why, but I'll find out.
okay. I just, I'd like to say thank you, and I appreciate your work at the start of the school year. I know, for the public, I know how hard you worked with some unexpected and unanticipated numbers. You work really hard. We just approved these enrollment dates that start way back in May, March, for kindergarten. And so you think that you have an idea of what you're looking at for kindergarten numbers. But, towards the end of August, you had some surprises. And I think you pivoted really well to accommodate class sizes the best that you could in a really nice way, the best you could to keep our numbers in a good place. So thank you. Thank you. Everybody else okay?
Yes, thank you.
All right, great. All right. Moving on to the approval of the school committee goals. So to just touch on this, we actually have already covered this in kind of a special school committee meeting. It was an open meeting. Of course, nobody was there. And it wasn't recorded, but it was an open meeting held here at the center school. And this is just an opportunity for the school committee to, formally put together some goals so that we have some accountability to the public, accountability to ourselves, accountability to the district, and the community that we serve, to show that we're on the right path, that we're working together the right way, and we're working the best that we can with the superintendent for the right reasons, alongside the goals that are set, that are in the bigger picture goals. So, and they're also in our own lane within the guidelines of what our job is as school committee members. So it starts out with what the district strategy is, theory of action, the mission statement for our goals, and then we have just 4 really key things that our jobs are. 1, policy, our duty to govern and establish policies and oversee, evaluate, and monitor the execution of the policies. We can go through them. Number 2, communication, the committee's support of district-wide efforts to increase and improve communication. There's some action steps there. And then 3, our fiscal responsibility and our commitment to fiscal responsibility to the community, to the district, to the students. And then number 4, professional practice. That's to ourselves, to the community, to each other, to be sure that, we know what our job is and that we're responsible to the community. So if anybody has any comments on that and wants to add to what I just had to say, I don't know how in depth you want me to go through that.
I think you did a great job.
All right, there's a lot in there. It's just, I don't want to kill anybody with it. This is not.
I mean, there weren't wholesale changes from the last round, so, it was just minor edits, so it's not as if
Yeah.
we're rewriting the book here, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good things that came out of this. I think some of our listening sessions, I think some of the things that we did in terms of our review routine, not routine, but our review process that we have with the superintendent, things like that. I don't know. But what else do you think came out of some of this goal setting that was positive for us? Anything good?
Well, I'll say for the last listening session that we had, I think realigning it to other activities that happen around the district was very helpful because it was very well attended. We had a lot of people come with a lot of good questions, so I was happy to see that we weren't just sitting there by ourselves. So I think realigning that to district events was really helpful. And that's something that we talked about at the time.
Idea.
In terms of the goals, I think as well, I think it's helped us to maintain our commitment to continue learning for ourselves as well. Since we've established goals, I think we've had several workshops or internal retreats that we've done to better our practice. And I don't know if that was happening prior, but I think the goals have kind of helped us to keep in line with that commitment to our own professional practice development. And understanding of the regulation changes or whatever it is that might be going on. So I appreciate having them as a backbone to the work that we do. Not having them, I'm sure, is fine as well, but I think this kind of gives us something to fall back on.
Okay, so anyway, that's our accountability to the community a little bit. Any comments, Jamil?
I just think I appreciate I mean, in and of itself, your goals align to our district goals. Our budgeting process, the district goals are the superintendent's goals. They're the school goals. They're our teachers' goals. And your alignment to what we're doing in the district is commendable. I also appreciate the transparency. I don't think the community always understands the role of the committee. Having these goals out there with your action steps really help the community understand, what the committee does to make sure that all of this is flowing and functioning effectively. So I think you deserve a major pat on the back, committee, if my opinion matters on this, because it's not something you see in every school committee action. So thank you.
Great. Okay, moving on. Thank you very much. Ethics, we had some ethics that have been freestanding for a while. I think when we sat down to do the goals, it seemed kind of just kind of automatic to say, well, why don't we just kind of, vote on our ethics again? And when we pulled them out, they seemed pretty outdated. And so Kayla offered to kind of rework them. So I think you put them in a better format. You took some of the things that made sense. You put it in a workable format that kind of seems to be kind of a little more modern in how we've been wording some of our things. I think maybe if people want to review this, look at it, we'll bring it back in October. You have any comments you want to reach out between now and October, please do that. Thank you so much, Kayla. I think you did a great job. It makes a lot more sense for the way we work, and I think it's you talk about transparency and accountability. This is it. And if anybody wants to kind of question and wonder what it is that we do and why we do it, that's huge. So those are things that it doesn't just sit on our website. I think it speaks to when new members join, we have a handbook that we put together, and people look at it, and it's here's your school committee handbook, and that's in there, and people know this is kind of what we all expect of each other. And it's not the law. Nobody can hold you to anything, but it's a nice thing that some expectations. So anybody wants to look at it between now and October, please do. And
Madam Chair, two things. Well, thank you, Kayla, for taking that on. We do have it in the agenda as a vote tonight, so.
And I'm not going to take it as a vote. Yeah, because I think we didn't have enough time, really. You know what I mean? I want to give people just like a little bit, unless everybody feels super strongly about it. It just felt like we didn't have enough time. I want to.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just wanted to make sure you were aware that.
Yeah. Unless you want was like, yeah, let's go. I'll do it. I'll do it. But I didn't want people to feel like they were kind of put upon to vote on it when it just came, we didn't have enough time. But I'm so happy that you took that on, Kayla.
Yeah, and I'll just say, what I did when I looked at the ones that were out there, I just really consolidated anything that seemed like it overlapped. I didn't add anything per, the meeting, the workshop that, for our goal review that you, Chris, and I were at. I kind of just took the comments from that meeting and, revamped the way it was written, consolidated, took out some of the like, I will, and kind of made it more collective and such. So that was my mindset behind the rewriting of it, and to try to keep it in line with our goals so that, here are the 4 things that we're trying to accomplish, and this is kind of our, our ethical practice behind each of these things that we do. So that's all. Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Good.
Okay. New business, proposed dates for January through August school committee meeting. This was tough.
It is.
And just when we thought we had all the dates fine, stuff just, pops up all over the place. So I think we finally got some meeting dates together. This was tricky. Looking at these dates, we certainly have a couple landmines that we had to move. I think we have a Monday in February. We tried to keep it kind of standard, but it was, we just can't go like every 3 weeks or every second week or, it's not going to work. So this is the best we came up with. Hopefully it works for everybody. Any questions, comments, conflicts for administration or anybody?
I think we've unearthed the conflicts at this time. If anything major comes up, obviously, we'll always bring it to your attention, but we've triple-checked. And thank you to Ms. Caliendo for revising this under all of our schedules.
Okay, all right. And this requires a vote.
I would like to make a motion to approve the proposed date changes for the January through August school committee meetings.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. And air quality summary, this is for the Heathbrook and Dewing.
Sure, Madam Chair. Back in June, I directed our maintenance foreman, John Marchand, to do air quality assessments at our two oldest schools, the Heathbrook and Dewing, over the summer, as we had a staff member raise some concerns, especially after we had a very rainy season. So in your packet are the conclusion and recommendation pages from both schools' assessment. I am, in the assessment company that we used is TRC, and let me just not read the entire summary to you verbatim, but I'm going to report first on the Heathbrook. We had no evidence of an indoor mold source, and some areas had a relatively higher concentration of outdoor mold spores, especially in the higher indoor-outdoor trafficked areas. Yet even so, those locations were significantly lower than concurrent outdoor locations for outdoor mold. The reading room had a very low concentration of a water-associated mold, but no visible presence of active moisture or mold. Humidity, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide levels were within recommended guidelines, with slightly increased humidity in the library area. Again, these are areas very open to the outdoor doors with open windows throughout the summer, but we will continue to monitor the areas suggested at the Heathbrook. Dewing, or throughout the school year, I should say. At the Dewing, again, there was no presence of an indoor mold source, except room A11. This is an unoccupied room at the Dewing. It had a slightly elevated penicillium species detected on the sample. Similar observations were made about why some high-trafficked areas had an elevated outdoor mold reading, open windows, dirt and dust tracked in, and the infiltration of outdoor air. There was no observation of a present active moisture source of mold, and the Dewing humidity, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide levels were also within recommended guidelines. As noted in the recommendations, we'll repeat mold samplings in A11 to determine if a mold source is actually present. These results were shared with our Dewing and Heathbrook administrators and associated staff. John Marchand also attended our September Joint Labor Management meeting with the TTA leadership and reviewed these summaries. We agreed to repeat samplings during the month of December or early January and focus in on areas that the teacher suggested that should be checked. John also recommended that our teachers continue to use our classroom air filtration purifiers that they all have at both the Dewing and Heathbrook, and he would check in on any needed replacement filters with them. He also noted that all HVAC systems, as part of the recommendation as well, and filters were cleaned and replaced over the summer. This is regular routine anyways over the summer and again in the winter. All of those systems were cleaned. Every filter was replaced, as well as the mechanical systems were tended to and cleaned up over the summer for any outdoor leaf buildup. So we'll continue to update you. As you know, we'll be having a facilities assessment as well as feasibility study done on all of our buildings, and we'll continue to update on any further reports that we receive.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just the one, to be clear, this was done voluntarily, right?
Yes, we, in June-ish, I think, we heard we didn't have any reports of issues, but we had some concerns raised, so we, made sure that this assessment would be done over the summer.
Just, Madam Chair, was it provided to all the staff or their representatives,
Yes.
and they're satisfied?
There's, again, the recommendation was that when we do follow up, we focus in on specific areas, and we agreed to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? Rosa?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, if I might interrupt. Mr. Libby, also has been in communication, I think twice, with the consultant that did the report, because we needed some clarification, right? And some questions have been raised. Do you want to detail any of those conversations? She's been wonderful. Her name is Denise?
Yes.
At the company that does the assessment for us?
Yeah, the detail in the report is very
Scientific.
very sciencey, so we needed some help in kind of figuring out what it all meant, and she was great. Her big takeaway was there's no, the types of mold that she found inside the school are no different than the types that are outside the school, which indicates that there's no new sources being created inside either school building. So that was her big takeaway from what she saw. Was not so much even the counts, was the types. And you had to look kind of in detail at the reports to see that. And so we were glad we called, because she was very generous with her time to walk us through and explain how to interpret some of the data. So it was good. I'm glad we had a conversation with her, and she seemed very receptive to talking with us.
We would definitely use their services again.
Good.
Thank you.
Mr. Libby, there's enough of those classroom portable,
Air purifiers?
yeah, the purifiers for every classroom for both schools?
Yes.
Yes, and then some.
And then, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I think there's been a little bit of a slowdown of their use, and again, I think John, when he suggested they, let's get them turned back on, I think they're air purifiers. They're good to use. Outdoor mold will always be in everywhere. It'll be in here. It'll be in a house, and to purify the air will just be even more helpful. So he has replaced filters on many, and will do so if people think that if they've been running them constantly for 5 years, we want to replace those filters.
Do they have like an indicator on it? They should have a light to say that the.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Mr. Libby, what about the air conditioners, like the wall air conditioners? Those are all, they've been checked to be sure that
They all get cleaned. It's interesting because John did express different schools have different systems, but, in some of our schools, I forget which one of these, they actually take everything out over the summer, so there were no filters when, testing was being done. But then before students and staff come back, that's when they clean the system and put in a new filter. So where some of, and I'm probably not doing justice, and Mr. Marshall couldn't be here tonight, but he did explain how they do the cleaning, at every school, so in the way that they need to, including making sure the outdoor area of that HVAC system is cleaned up.
okay.
Yeah, and we actually increased the filter size as much as we could. Post-COVID, is a MERV rating is the term that's used. I think we were at a MERV 5 before COVID. We could go to a MERV 7 or 8, I believe. It's just physically, that's what we could fit in the mechanics of those buildings. It's as simple as that. You just can't get a bigger filter in those machines. So we went as big as we could. There was concern that it would put wear and tear on the fans and pumps and that sort of thing, moving through those thicker filters, but we haven't really seen that to date. So we've been sticking with the thicker filters.
Thank you. Okay. Well, Mr. Libby, everybody's all set? Okay. That might as well stay with you on the budget transfer request.
Sure. So as we, we put our budget together last year, at a certain point in the process, we kind of have to stop the presses. The budget hits the town meeting warrants. Things kind of come to a halt as far as moving money around within our line item categories. So as things are happening in the district that I know will result in changes to our, to where we need money, I kind of have been keeping score. We hire people, we move positions, people change jobs, there are transfers. We make some decisions, and all that impacts the budget. Some of them are more major than others. Some are minor, but there are a lot that happen from April until we start the school year. So I kind of tried to categorize some of them into the major categories that I put in my cover letter there. I'll just hit those briefly. At the recommendation of our special ed consultant that we had here last spring, they had some suggestions on the types of expenses that we put into the 240 grant. Some expenses come with an associated overhead cost and some don't. And we were advised that we probably should use the expenses that don't come with that associated overhead cost. So that was a switch. So it was basically just moving a group of folks back into our budget and a group of people into the grant. But it resulted in some shifting within our account structure. The attrition is retirements and resignations. When we know someone's leaving, I put a placeholder in for their replacement. Sometimes they come in under that number, sometimes they come in over that number when we actually go through the hiring process. So that results in some changes. Case manager restructure, we sort of restructured the way our case managers are assigned at schools to provide coverage for our IEP meetings, and just assigning those folks to different schools and different grade levels. And I've allocated their salaries appropriately to the schools that they're working at. The education support personnel restructure, we evaluated with our admin team and our special ed leadership team the ESP positions across the district, and with kind of a focus on starting that shift from the contracted service ESPs to employee-based ESPs. So that resulted in some shift from operating accounts into our salaried accounts. And at K class size at the end of the summer, we realized we had an inequity in our class size between the Heathbrook and the Dewing schools at kindergarten. And we're going to really, the easiest and most guaranteed way to solve that was to add a kindergarten class at the Heathbrook. So we're looking at numbers, and we're able to do that within our total budget. And then some device replacement and software needs were identified as we were going through our tech plan with our tech folks that had some impact on our budget. Those are the sort of the major drivers. There were some other less impactful things that had happened during the year that are also identified in the detail account structure documents that are provided, but those are kind of the biggest ticket items, I believe, that that we saw have major changes in our internal budget. So at the end of the day, our bottom line budget doesn't change. We moved this, if approved, this would move $283,000 out of our operating accounts into our salary accounts, which is, one of the categories that get voted out at town meeting. That's the level that the town meeting approves. So kind of the big picture sort of area that you folks need to approve tonight. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you.
Okay.
I've packaged it a bunch of different ways too. I don't know if anything jumps out at you.
Good. Questions or comments?
No.
I'm good. You good? Good. Mr. Cutlass?
No, I'm all set, Madam Chair.
No. Thank you for your work on this, Mr. Libby.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So these DESI codes are tricky.
Madam Chair, if I might, page 3 and 4 is really the one I find useful to follow because it does share the rationale in cluster. So you'll see how that transfer affected those areas. It was, that I think it's called the transfer request subtotaled by rationale. And that then leads you back to the first page after all of what Mr. Libby explained, just that bottom line. Takes us back to a zero balance, but really where the funding from salary and operating swapped.
Right. Okay. No, I appreciate it. And so you're looking for a vote on this tonight, correct?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget transfer as presented.
Second.
Okay, and so is there a number on this, Mr. Libby? Just as, is that enough?
I would say the 283,020 from salary to operating.
Bottom line on this page.
I'll rephrase then.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to approve the budget transfer as presented in the amount of $283,000.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mrs. B.J. Smith and a second from Mr. Cutlass to transfer $283,000 from our operating costs to our, from salary, to our salary, sorry. And Mr. Moncada, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Anderson, how do you vote? Aye. Mr. Cutlass, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. B.J. Smith?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well for a unanimous vote. Sorry, I was just reading it out loud. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And new school committee matters of interest. Anything to add, anyone?
No.
I had a couple of questions, maybe. I should ask them earlier, maybe you guys know this already.
Okay.
On that tutoring program, do our teachers do the tutoring?
No.
Outside people?
Correct.
And that grant, or whatever Maura Healy passed, that's going to pay for them?
Correct.
And how long does it last, do we know?
So each student gets 30 minutes of tutoring that qualifies, and then they'll create benchmarks for release or thresholds. When students make a certain level of progress, they'd be released and another student would take that seat.
Okay.
So they'll set all those individual targets with students.
And we'll get results of that, of how good they're doing? Is there a cap on the number of kids we can
So
have?
we are qualified for, I believe it's 10 at Doing and 7 at Heathbrook right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a small number, but it's a starting place. And that's just for the number of seats. And remember, as students make progress, then we'll bring in more students. So
Right.
that's our number of seats.
In
So 10
first
kids
first
could
grade.
take 3 months, yeah, first grade.
First grade.
Correct.
They could take 3 months, and then another 10 could come in, or whatever it might be, yeah.
Correct. And we do still do our own internal benchmarking. So we'll have beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year internal data on top of it.
Okay. Is that money available next year? Does she, how long was it? Do we know?
I do not know how long it was allocated for.
Okay.
Can I ask
Thank
a
you.
follow-on question? What is this replacing in their school day?
So we have a targeted win block, what I need
Okay.
time, that there's time already dedicated, so it would not be taking away from any of the academics.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, anything else?
No.
So just one thing, and it's future thing to consider. I think we mentioned it earlier, tonight is open house at the high school. I went back and looked, we approved the calendar in February. We approve our calendar in April. So I think this might be the second time we've kind of overlapped an open house. So when we're doing our calendars for next year, I want to just try to be mindful of open houses. It helps with having students here, or families, or staff, as well as ourselves, who each have students, that we may want to attend open houses for. So just a future consideration that is kind of out there. We put a little asterisk on our calendar notes or something.
Sure. It's always tricky, the calendar and how many nights, especially with religious holidays and needs, get really tricky in that September, October time. But note taken, we will avoid at all costs. We've actually already had some open house discussions with our principals, just in thinking through youngers may get the earlier dates because those parents may need them. So we'll
Stick it in.
we continue to massage it around, as I said, the holidays, meetings, key meetings for the town. And then we're even looking at it from a developmental perspective. Who should get the earlier dates over the later dates?
It's a great point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
The only thing I wanted to bring up is we've had some outreach, just as members. I'm sure you've had some outreach as well from community members regarding, before school, after school care with Alpha Best. I wanted to ask you if there's an opportunity, in my thinking it through, this is my thought process, and maybe you have a better way or a better idea, but where Alpha Best, for the community to better understand, we all know that Alpha Best is their own entity. There's a contract with Alpha Best, which, by the way, Mr. Lee, is that up the end of this year as well?
I think it is, but I have to double check.
Yeah. If you get a chance, I'd be interested. So for the committee's, feedback, I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing how things go, or checking in, or actually talking with somebody in person, or would you be interested in accompanying a member or two to Alpha Best?
Absolutely.
If they're amenable or open to it?
So it'd be wise to see the morning and the afternoon, because the afternoon is,
Yeah, or maybe the afternoon. I feel
it's
like
all good, but it'd
I
be,
feel like the afternoon has probably been more the challenging, that's what I'm hearing more about, is that
Yes.
people are, wishing they could get in more in the afternoon. To just maybe bring our feedback in person, or to just get a better idea for how the program's running.
Sure.
And then maybe bring that feedback to the
follow-up
next meeting.
presentation, maybe even from Alpha Best.
If they're interested, yeah. As we kind of think through, kind of the future, what before school, after school care might maybe look like, and even on better understanding what could the capacity for the district even be? I mean, is there even more capacity available? Could the district even take in more students? Is that even an option? If Alpha Best could even manage more students, is there even space?
Yeah, it's a hustling, bustling school here, and with 800, what are we at now? It's in the,
Right.
and I also think it's a symptom of our community's needs, as more people are not remote working anymore. They are back, right? And people need daycare and childcare after school. We have 150 students in the afternoon program. It's important to note for Alpha Best or any contracted service, there's an EEC rule that we can only have 13 students for one adult. So even with 2 adults in the pipeline for Alpha Best, and I'm just sharing with you some of the challenges that they're facing, that'll be an additional 26 students. Wonderful. But we have 50-ish plus on the waiting list. In the afternoon, we have seats in the morning.
Right.
That hasn't been a challenge, but it really is those afternoon numbers. And then again, when we had 26, and if we have a day with 170, putting them everywhere throughout that time frame and making it a high quality, curriculum experience is starting to be the question that we're reviewing with the principal. So, might we have to have now two and 3 sites versus the center in Ryan, maybe, because we have Heathbrook and Dewing, but it's the center. It's this right here that is grown very large.
Right.
Which is a wonderful thing. It's just, again, staffing it. So yeah, I'd love for you to see it because, you know, the people that are here are enjoying it. It's unfortunate that we don't have a seat for everybody right now.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So our contract with them, if we're at capacity, let's say, you know, this is all they can take, does our contract say we can find an additional, like a surplus to take over the extra kids? Like if they can only take 200 and but there's 300 people, or children, can we find another vendor to fill that gap? Are we obligated by contract? No, can only use them, no one else?
Compete? That's a great question.
I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be competing with them. It's that you can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know, we have.
Right.
Is it that they can only do so much, or is it that they have to hire more staff because of the?
It's available staff. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
I mean,
they could bring in enough staff to cover the.
Theoretically.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
So is
they're
that
always.
their plan?
Absolutely. They're always posting.
Yeah.
But again, it's, you know.
I'm just curious if our contract, you know, obligates us to only use them. You know, if we can't find help, we're not allowed to find help.
Right.
I'm not saying that there would be that opportunity anyway, but I'm just curious if that was.
So this is what I was thinking, if maybe we could reach out to whoever's interested in attending and share our questions with whichever members are interested and bring those to your tour and bring your answers that you're finding back to us. Because I think we all have a lot of questions.
No, and clearly this year, more than any other year, we're seeing a lot of families looking for a seat in the afternoon program that, you know, with the wait that big, that's not typical. So, you know, we need to figure out how we can service more families.
Yeah, right. And I think I think we'd like to see everybody, as many families as possible, have the opportunity to have their students in the district buildings, if possible, if it's a possibility, because it's the most convenient, it's for a very short time, and it's right after school, and it's right before school, so it's just, yeah, so, you know.
Do you know what the minimum age is? Because could there be kids at the high school that could take?
They can help, but they can't be in charge under the age of 18 and not trained with their own group. No, it's wonderful to have the extra, when high school kids
doesn't
come
help
and
with
want to
the
do that
numbers.
work, right. But no, there's very strict rules under EC, and then Alpha Best has a training requirement, so that people are servicing and working with our children the right way as well. So I think that's a 10-hour requirement, and sometimes that's a deterrent even, you know. But, you know, we're glad they have that in their security training and first aid training. But again, we've even questioned, is the hourly rate enough? Like, how can we get more staff? And, you know, the management with Alpha Best is looking into that as well. But I think it's worth seeing it. It is a high-quality service, but we recognize that more of our families need it.
So maybe if you could find out what dates they're available, reach out to us, let us know, see who is available, and maybe a couple of us, whoever's available those days, could go, share some questions, and bring that back to us in October. Whoever goes. That sound good?
It sounds great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. I think the community would appreciate it. And then our future school committee, October 7th, special town meeting. I did add that to our list because you will find us there. October 15th is our regular school committee meeting. And then future subcommittee and advisory committee dates, we have, as you said, the CPAC is tomorrow. And then we also have here October 16th, and you also mentioned the forum,
The vendor fair is on the 26th. There's a week of workshops that were sent out to families to register for, and then the workshop is the 26th. The vendor workshop.
October 26th, yeah.
September.
September 26th. And did you verify it's here?
I did not. I
Okay,
couldn't pull up the
we'll
flyer.
look that up.
Yeah, I'll find the flyer.
And Wellness Advisory, you said was October 1st.
And one.
And Policy Subcommittee, we have formally November 1st. We do have an organizational meeting also scheduled. It's also an open meeting for anybody who wants to come and see us try to organize some spreadsheets. Feel free. Tewksbury School Facilities Study Committee, there's not a date on the books for that. Future agenda items, anybody have anything they'd like to add? Like I said, we just have this Alpha Fest
I had
now.
one. Have we ever had our music teachers, band teachers in here? Have we ever had students that are learning instruments in here for any, like whether it be around a concert that they've done? I'm just curious. I mean, we have athletes in here a lot. We have our future actors and actresses in here. Do we ever have any musicians in here? So
We had a violin. We had some students who had who played the violin. That had come in.
So it's not around anything specific. I just throwing it out there for something to be generous to everybody in the community, our musicians.
Yeah, definitely had some of our concert performers as well. So let's see if there's availability from our instrumental music people.
Great. Totally open to it. If you find something or hear of something, bring it forward. Yeah, that'd be great.
And then just timing dependent, an update on the townwide PAC meeting potentially, and anything that comes from that. I know it's only a quarterly meeting, right? So if we don't catch them now, then we might miss them,
Sure.
if we miss this meeting. So an update after that would be nice.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned October, right?
Yeah.
It may be after our October meeting, if I recall, but nonetheless, we can certainly give you an update what's the plan on the agenda and then how that goes.
Okay.
Last thing, sorry, LG1. I love the counting. I keep saying
Yeah.
1, 3, 5.
So, I know, it's
But-
not ready and fully functional. However, the word on the street is it's being vacuumed and dusted for some minimal use right now. The carpet still needs to be replaced.
Okay.
So, and it took some, obviously it took damage. It's a porous surface, and the carpet squares need to be fully replaced. We hope to be back in there, I would say, for this meeting. I'm going to put it out there and hope I don't jinx us for our November meeting.
Okay.
But again, that all will, depend on what the plan is to get that carpet replaced for us.
And Jason, you'll keep us posted if there's any damage on your end with telemedia? That would be
Yeah.
terrible bummer.
They were vacuuming and dusting and making sure all the projection was cleaned up, our own guys, and, making sure the lenses were clean and so that we're able to project, and everything has been started up and make sure it's working.
Good.
Okay, great. Okay, I don't really have anything for future agenda that I can think of. And so at this time, I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session. This will be a non-public session to discuss approval of executive session minutes, collective bargaining pertaining to the TTA bargaining unit. The school committee will not reconvene in open session after executive session adjourns. The adjournment of executive session will be the adjournment of both executive session and the regular school committee meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Oh, actually, I only take it as a roll call, sorry. Ms. Moncada, how do you
Aye.
vote?
Aye.
Ms. Anderson?
Aye.
Cutlass?
Aye.
BJ Smith, and I vote aye as well for a unanimous vote. Thank you very much, and that's at 7:03 PM.